Even though we are in the heart of winter, there are people preparing to improve the quality of lakes in the summer. One of the top items on the list for the Bassett Creek Watershed Management Commission is improving the health of SWEENEY Lake in Golden Valley.
SWEENEY Lake does not meet water quality standards. It hasn't for a long time, so it has a lot of algae blooms and sometimes harmful algae blooms. The water quality is just not very good.
Jester says one factor impacting water quality is that Shopper Pond, which feeds into the lake, is the perfect breeding ground for common carp. The commission will use grant money to remove the carp and then treat the lake to remove phosphorus that promotes algae blooms. Jester says those algae blooms are more than just an eyesore.
Harmful algae blooms can be toxic to pets in particular and to even swimmers, and so that's a concern. And even if it's not a harmful algae bloom, a lot of the algae blooms are they are unsightly. You don't want to recreate in them, and it impacts the ecosystem health of the whole lake.
There is an open house to talk about efforts to clean up SWEENEY Lake planned for April 8th at the Brookview Community Center. There's also a movement for you at home to be more efficient with your water and energy. And if you are a Brooklyn Park resident, there is extra incentive involved. The city hopes a new rebate plan will inspire people to buy energy-efficient products. We get that story from Eric Nelson.
Even in the land of lakes, water is precious. That's why Brooklyn Park wants people to conserve on H2O. When buying appliances, most folks look for a discount or the best deal. But the city is hoping residents change their shopping habits.
We don't necessarily look at the efficiency and the cost to operate something over time. So hopefully with this rebate program, we're going to change that mindset so people say, oh, yeah, I should be going with this model instead.
Brooklyn Park is promoting energy-efficient products and will dole out rebates ranging from $50 to $100 to those who buy them.
They're going to pay for themselves over time just with the efficiency itself.
The city has two different rebate programs. One focuses on energy-conserving washing machines, toilets, and irrigation systems. The other is a program for highly efficient water softeners.
We've incentivized people to do this activity as kind of a way to get them past thinking about the price point and then thinking about the efficiency part of it and getting a top-notch, high-quality appliance.
This is a GE top-load washer. It's a brand new model. It is a high-efficiency model.
Dave Carlson from AC Carlson Appliances in New Hope is a proponent of energy-efficient products.
You might pay a little more up front, but over the long run you do save because it costs you less to operate it every time.
The only caveat is energy-saving washers and dishwashers take longer to get the job done.
They're using less water, so we got to compensate to get the clothes clean or the dishes clean by adding time.
However, with a rebate tossed in, some believe the pros could outweigh the cons because it means people and their city too ultimately use less water.
The rebates are always good. It's a bonus.
In Brooklyn Park, I'm Eric Nelson, CCX News.
Brooklyn Park says the rebates are for up to 1 washer, 2 toilets, and 3 irrigation systems per home. Local Vote 2020 campaigns are quickly taking shape. One race involves replacing the longest-serving legislator in Minnesota history. 2 candidates have announced they're running to fill the seat of Lyndon Carlson in House District 45A. They are New Hope City Council member CEDRICK FRAZIER and New Hope resident Austin Berger. Carlson is retiring from political office at the end of the year after 47 years in office. A visit to the dentist's office can be expensive for those who don't have insurance, but an annual event happening next month aims to provide free care to low-income children in need. Bassett Creek Dental in Golden Valley is one of more than 100 dental offices in Minnesota that will take part in the annual Give Kids a Smile event on February 7th and 8th. That weekend, 1,200 dental professionals will volunteer their time and provide free dental care to children under the age of 18 who have pre-registered. The program is for any child whose family faces financial or other challenges accessing dental care.
Teeth are not only important for chewing and for functioning, but they really help a child's self-confidence, for smiling, for the way they look, and for the way they talk. So it's a huge deal for kids, and we really want to help them out, those that are unable to afford it.
Appointments are still available. To find a clinic near you, we have a link on our website at ccxmedia.org. In Golden Valley, the day set aside to commemorate the service of Martin Luther King is becoming synonymous with a dessert called sweet potato comfort pies. Resident Rose McGee won a Bush Fellowship this past year, which called attention to her passion of baking sweet potato pies and giving them to others as a symbol of comfort and support. Community groups like Calvary Lutheran Church and the Golden Valley Community Foundation have teamed up to host events around the pies to celebrate the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr.
We'd love to have Golden Valley to be one of the places where we're really focusing on peace and love and unity and all of those good things of just helping to understand how to bridge this gap between cultures, between generations.
This year, the pies the group baked will be donated to area shelters for the first time, which will include families affected by the fire at the Minneapolis Drake Hotel. We end today's show with an example of the wonders of winter. Take a look at these ice crystals that formed on the top of a pond in Golden Valley. They resemble hoarfrost, which is not uncommon if you watch for it. It forms whenever it's cold outside and there's an ample source of water vapor nearby, but science aside, sometimes it's just nice to enjoy the winter magic.
The Champlain Park boys hockey team is still searching for consistency, but they're playing well in January. Here's Jason Melillo with more.
Champlain Park is a pretty young squad this season, and there have been growing pains. But the Rebels might be finding their stride in 2020.
We've been playing really well together and just like playing as a complete team and just getting shots on net and keeping everything simple.
We haven't turned the puck over at the blue line as much. We've moved the puck a lot better and just really focused on getting a lot more shots than just trying to dangle through people.
Tom Potter is in his first season as the sole head coach at Champlain Park, but he's been with the program for almost a decade. He's also a Champlain Park alum and is passionate about Rebel hockey.
Champlain has always been known as the team that, you know, they're a 4 seed. Maybe they get lucky to get a 3 seed, but they don't make it far into the playoffs, and that's the mentality we got to change here. Is just the fact that we expect to go farther, and we expect to be a team that's going to contend year in and year out, and I think we're getting to that point now. And the guys, you know, coming up their bantams and now that are on the high school team, they've started to win a little bit more, and they know that they can beat these teams, and the knowing and the confidence goes a long way when it comes to actually performing and beating teams.
In many of its losses this winter, Champlain Park has struggled to play 3 complete periods. There's about a month left in the regular season, and to make a playoff run, the Rebels will have to rectify that.
It's understanding that, okay, we played well in the first period, now we need to even play better in the second period. You know, smarter hockey, you know, keep it even simplified even more. And, you know, when we do that, we end up coming out and winning some hockey games, you know. But when we don't take it, you know, honestly and try to think that we're gonna skate through somebody, it turns around on us pretty quick.
The goal for us is definitely make it past the first round, because historically we've been knocked out in the first round quite a bit. It'd be really nice to get to the section championship and then make it to the state tournament, but we'll take it by game.
Jason Melillo, CCX Sports.
Well, the Park Center wrestling program has had pockets of success, but hasn't generally been strong. The Pirates are working hard to change that this season. Seeing the growth in number of wrestlers and the competitive level has been fun for the Pirates.
I went through the program like as a 7th grader, and it wasn't really a good team. You know, we had 14 members or 14 teammates, so it's really interesting to see how it grows. You know, how we went from nothing, like 14 members to 40 people now in the room. So
ever since my freshman year, we've been like steadily growing our team, and it's just been amazing seeing, like, you know, finally our program being full, like 40 kids coming in. It's great.
I can't take all the credit for sure. We've got a great group of kids. They've responded to our coaching. They've stepped up. They've put in a ton of extra work, and so that's why we've seen some positive results this year.
Female wrestlers make up part of that growth. Park Center has a handful of girls in the program.
It's tough, you know, when they're working with the guys, but we're hopeful that in the next few years, or maybe even sooner, that we'll see sanctioned girls wrestling, just so that it becomes a little bit more equitable and fair for them. But it's encouraging. It's fresh energy. It's like visible inspiration, you know.
The Pirates are 5-2 in dual meets and have consistently filled out a lineup, something that isn't true in many local programs. They've also beat some teams that historically they haven't been able to.
Beating Maple Grove and Rogers, you know, we never really think about beating them, but then, like, you know, it's finally growing our team, and like knowing that we can do it now, it feels great.
Park Center is still far from a top 10 caliber team, and they won't seriously challenge for a section team title. But they do have a shot at getting individuals into the state tournament for the first time in a few years.
Over the years, we haven't had a lot going to the state tournament, or either, you know, just competing for it. But right now, like I said, we put in our time. It's our time to shine, so we're just waiting for the opportunity.
Park Center's wrestlers are not satisfied, but they are happy with the growth of this team.
So Oyedokan didn't get discouraged by not quite getting it earlier.